Hello again, fantasy football fans, and welcome back to OG Fantasy Football. Entering week 11 of this NFL season, the cream is rising to the top and the dead weight is sinking to the bottom. I'm your host, Dead Weight. Joining me with Cream. What's it like up there, buddy?
Oh, nice. Rarefied air. It's good to be in the top three this deep into the season and only 51 points out. What happened this week, Brian? You,
Oh my
you, uh,
God. You
you're
know,
sinking.
it's really it's the symmetry is beautiful. Last year, I was up in the top three pretty much the whole season, and you were just down in that dark, dank basement. We were all worried about you. We didn't think you'd come through from the season. And I don't like it down here. I've plummeted. I'm in 10th
Oh,
place now, Johnny, but I'm happy for you. But guess what? The tides are about to turn for both of
I
us.
just, I
You're
just
making
threw
a
you a
charge.
lifeline.
You
I
threw
threw
me a
you a
lifeline.
lifeline.
I believe this is a mutual beneficial situation. There's
I
been a
believe it is.
five-player trade, a 5-player trade. And I think that it's going to work out because I'll tell you what, if you've been following this podcast, then you know my hatred, my disdain, my disgust with Patrick Mahomes of the hated rival Kansas City Chiefs. I'm done with you. You're gone. My friend John Burrell put needs on the trade block quarterback. I said, I got some dead weight I want to get rid of. You're out of here, Patrick Mahomes. You're dead to me. You will never be on a team of mine again. I looked at the stats, Johnny. He's cost me 100 points. 100 points. That's what I expected him to be, a top three quarterback. He's what, 15, 16? You're gone.
He's
He's
got
now
he's
your
got fewer
problem.
points than Jordan Love.
Oh, I would love me some love right now, but I don't need him because I saw all I needed out of Kyler Murray when he scampered around and he scored a 12-pointer. He was 2 inches away on two plays for another 9 and two more 9-pointers. That's 30. I think I'm going to be fine, but let's go over the trade, Johnny. I am as excited as a schoolgirl. I keep saying excited. I don't know what's going on. I still have a cold. Florida, man. I did Florida right. Florida did me right. Thank you to the Ryder Corporation. Sam Ryder, let's go. Let's win this tournament this weekend.
Let's
Let's go out. Let's
go.
leave. Let's end the season with a bang. We got 2 commercials in the can. Gonna see a rough cut in a couple days, Johnny. I think the first one's gonna air maybe in February. Everything's coming up, Dunky. The strike is over. The strike is over. Now it's time for me to audition and not get jobs, and still I have a chance because the strike is over. Johnny, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Jacobs Jingleheimer shit. Bye-bye. You're not part of the Taste Some Bitches anymore. And in exchange
Welcome to the
for,
shit suckers.
he's going to take care of it. They're excited. They are excited. I got Raheem Mostert, Kyron Williams, and Russell Wilson. I'll take it. I now have, starting next week, because Kyron Williams is coming back, it's already confirmed, I will have 2 brand new starting running backs, and boy, do I need them. It's been the weakness of my season. Johnny, I feel good about it. How do you feel about this trade?
I feel great. I'm excited. I love the fact that we're going to have the potential for talking every week about Mahomes having a 50 burger, and
Oh, I'll be happy for you. I'll be happy for you. I'll cheer you on. Look, this is a win-win.
he needs to hit 300 for the year, and he's at 117 right now. Let's
Good
go.
luck. Good luck to you on that, sir. I'm going to use my low register. Oh, hey, it's sexy time. I'm going to get down in Barry White area here because it's just it. This is where it's at for until I recover from sweet, sweet Florida. We do what we want in Florida. Nobody was wearing a mask. Do I have COVID? I don't know. I ain't getting tested. I can smell fine. Everything's fine. Johnny, I'm excited. Raheem Mostert. Now, the trade went through this morning. We discussed it over the weekend. You're like, we couldn't make it happen until the last game was over, and we're not going to talk about that last game. Not yet. I'm not ready for it. Too much disappointment this weekend. But, oh, boy, literally, the presses were still hot on this trade when I got a trade offer from who? Stanley Allman of the Deadheads, who offered me, and I'm saying this with a straight face, John. He offered me Barkley for Mostert. I just got Mostert, and he's going to trade me Barkley from, if anybody looks worse than the Bills, it's the Giants. What is happening in the state of New York or New Jersey, both places? Mostert for Barkley.
You'd be better off with Matt Barkley.
I will take Matt Barkley. Oh my God. What are you doing? I replied, did you relapse?
Stanley.
What's going on? So I declined it and I countered. How about Gus? How about Gus Edwards for Barkley? I don't even think that's a good trade, but I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm going to have Derrick Henry, Mostert, and Kyren Williams. Johnny, I got to make a move because it ain't happening. Now I believe when I am at full strength, you add that to Mike Evans and Taysom. Well, I don't know why they only let him touch the ball 3 times last week. What are you doing? What
the fuck are you doing?
But with those guys, that lineup, every single player that I'm starting, other than my kicker, has the potential for 30 points. I could not say that before this trade. I really believe it. We've seen Mostert do it. Kyren Williams he was starting out scorching, a scorching start for him. I'm hoping he picks right up where he left off. And with Murray, I think here's a little interesting. We should keep track of who has more points, Russell Wilson or Patrick Mahomes.
Because I got it written down right here.
He's already done the analytics.
I'm tracking it.
Moneyball Burrell.
Don't you worry. What are you hoping to get out of this trade, Brian? Because I just calculated in my head that if you outscore Tom Dunk 20 points a week for the next 8 weeks, you still won't win.
Well, I need to outscore him by 80 one week. That's the way this works, Johnny. That's why I made the moves, because now I got every guy on my team has double position, except for, Evans doesn't do many end arounds, but I've seen him have 3 touchdowns several times. He usually does it once a year. I need a 120-point week when you guys all trip over your own dicks. And I've seen you do that plenty of times. I've seen it up live and personal. I'm excited. I'm glad you accepted the trade. How do you feel about that? First of all, the difference between Williams and Swift. Who did you value more?
Swift. Although
Swift's got that 24-point potential all the time, but he's losing those goal line. So I don't know. I'm glad you accepted it. I thought about offering Swift, but we got the deal done.
And I like the fact that Swift's on the Eagles and the Rams are not very good.
Well, you're going to have a lot of fun on Monday night, because that's when your quarterback is going to be playing for the first time this season on your team. Monday night, big showdown in Kansas. Why are all the big Kansas City showdowns in Kansas City? It's bullshit, NFL. We know you love Mahomes. We know you want him to be the next Brady. Cut the shit. We're done with it. We're done with it, but that's going to be a big game. Philadelphia Eagles flying into Kansas City. Go Eagles, go. But you're going to have, you know what? I'm going to start Hardman. I got one last dart throw before I'm at full strength. The you throw is, Mikola with an end around, a 50-yard end around would make me so happy. And we kind of agreed to this in principle before that late game. So I'm glad to see Josh Jacobs he was just Josh Jacobs again by not getting into the end zone.
Good.
He did look good, but just didn't score. He really was. Oh boy, look at this. Omaha Steaks, basically by the strength of a Josh Allen 2-point conversion, clip Tommy Lizotte for the $50 weekly prize. Oh, poor Tommy.
And we were tied going into the game, and I got 2 points and he got 23 points.
Now, and even more importantly, I told you sitting down at the bottom of the weekly 2-point total, I said, golly, he's going to beat me. He's going to beat me. He had his kicker and his defense, both with the Bills, because he drafts them every year in the first 10 rounds.
Talk about it.
He only got 2 points. Yeah, but that's the silver. That's the only silver lining I need, is he only got 2 points, so I got 1 more point than he did. 33 on a week, Johnny, where everybody had a pretty decent amount of points. Let's just look at it. 83, 82, 74, 71, 62, 58, another 3 in the 50s. Oh, I don't like this. Yeah. Everybody does well, but me? Go! FOMO!
Yeah.
I got big time FOMO. Good week. And I watched in my recliner on 3 televisions.
And I was in 5th.
62. I dreamed of 62. I would have loved
And I got
62.
62 with 6 for my quarterback. Don't when you give my eulogy, don't bring up that I started Tyler Henneke in fantasy football one week.
We're going to be killed by AI. There's going to be AI robots are going to be doing this podcast. We're just going to have a thing attached to the back of our head. I've seen the Matrix. We're swimming in goo right now. Everything's a movie. Oh my God, Johnny. This is disgusting. I really had optimism going, but you know what? 34 is not good. And I am so sick of celebrating just to have it taken away. Instant replay is wonderful. But you know what? In lifetime, when you see your guy throw a 30-yard touchdown and he scores, you're so excited. And then, oh, his shin was down at the 2-inch line. Damn it, that happened to me so many times. And it again happened with I don't even know. Here's the thing, Johnny. You know what I did today? I hit golf balls.
Oh,
I hit golf balls in November. That's not good. I usually fully commit to the Buffalo Bills in fantasy football, but here I find myself down 180, John. And I find my Buffalo Bills, my beloved Buffalo Bills, at 5-5 after the most despicable loss. How many more despicable losses can we take? I told my son today, Jackson, you don't have to watch another minute. I'm not going to do it to him. I'm not going to do it to him. He experienced the joy of the Rams winning a couple of years ago. Let him have that. I'm done.
I saw a tweet today from a Bills fan. Said I dropped my daughter off at kindergarten this morning, and she and all her friends were smiling and so happy to see each other. They just have no idea what it's like to have your hometown team rip your heart out. And then he said, but they'll learn.
Oh, they'll get there. They'll get there. But we slap on a happy face and we pick our kids up and we pretend everything's all right when it's not. And here's the thing, John, most of my life, I've been a glass half empty kind of guy. And I genuinely have crawled through the mud and come out of the muck and been through the other side. And I now, for a couple of years now, I think there's a palpable difference. And I do consider myself a glass half full guy right now. But Johnny, when it comes to the Buffalo Bills, you just have to make the realization that glass, it's cracked and it's slowly leaking. It's leaking. It's defective, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. So you can see that water level as any way you want to, but it's just going to keep leaking until you prove me otherwise. So I was angry.
Night, speaking of glass half empty, last night when Josh led that drive down the field where they didn't throw the ball once, they ran every play. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was.
You know what I said when we scored? It was too much time.
Too early.
Lose.
Way too early. I knew it. I knew it as soon as he ran around that corner. But you know what? Who's the 12th guy? Okay. Did Dorsey? Was Dorsey the 12th guy on the field? I'm glad they got rid of him because they had to do something, and I don't think we could survive McDermott leaving right now. I just think that would be considered a lost season. Someone had to hit the guillotine, and it was Dorsey. And you know what? We're not good enough to overcome these injuries on defense. We need to outscore everybody, and it wasn't happening. So somebody had to hit. Somebody had to take the hit.
We've scored 25 points or less for 6 weeks in a row after scoring 47. It's. I don't know what I've been sitting there just thinking about it with my background of coaching, thinking I don't know
what's
what
happening,
is, but I know that when you have 4 turnovers and when you're -3, I mean, we used to track that. You got no chance of winning.
No, not
the fact that we only lost by 1 point tells me we've got some great players and we've got a lot of talent, but we got issues because we should have lost that game by 15, 21
easily.
Points.
I mean, if they then Denver
and we didn't. When
you start with on our side of the field, 4 times, and they couldn't come out with more than 6 points, we should have been destroyed. Can you imagine? We play the Eagles in 2 weeks. Are you kidding me?
Yes, we do.
Are we going to lose by 60? And you know what? Nobody's been a bigger fan of Josh Allen than me. Nobody
has. We've argued.
How about you throw something? You know what I want to see? Instead of throwing interceptions, throw something on the sideline. Can I see some emotion from you that you feel bad about the fact that you just dropped the ball? You just dropped it before you put it. It wasn't, and immediately I was like, James, get him out, because he unfortunately had it ripped right out of his hands. And he got sat down and he came back with a fire in his belly, didn't he? But Josh, you know what? I'm sick of seeing that stunned look on your face. Throw something, break something, act like you're the leader of this team. You're better than this, and the fans of Western New York deserve better than what this team has given us. It's been too long, and we've suffered too long, and I don't want to admit, when everybody said the window's closing, I said, no, it's not. I'm not listening to that. Well, it ain't open. I can barely fit my head through it to vomit, and I'll use that line as many times as I want. My goddamn podcast. But this is enough. Enough is enough. You either better come out, and I don't even know who's calling plays now. Let Josh call the plays.
Hey, this is not a Buffalo Bills podcast.
I'm fired up. I told you I didn't want to talk about it. Let's take a look at the standings. We got a new leader. Let's keep it in the family. Look at this. My brother, the Omaha Steaks, in first place by 3 points. I got my brother in first. I got my brother from another mother, God bless her, in third place. This is exciting. I will stay engaged.
And your cousins in second.
And I got my cousin who I've never met. Oh, it's just a family affair. I'm going to slap on a happy face. I got to tell you what, it hurts. I don't like it. I don't like being competitive in this league.
And wait a minute,
way too much time. My nephew is in fourth. I really am the black sheep. This is ridiculous. I'm the only family member who's not sniffing. I ain't done. That's why you make a blockbuster trade. That's why you do what I did.
That's right.
And I'm the one. Look, I'm the one who made this. It was my offer. I feel good about it. You know what? I want to sit in front of 3 big screen televisions for 9 hours and cheer more than twice next week, John. That's what I'd like to have happen.
I felt best about your offer is I haven't gotten another trade offer this year, but I've gotten several, and oftentimes they're from one individual in particular, and they're always like so lopsided. It's like, no, why? Why would I do that? And I opened yours up, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that it was mutually beneficial.
Right.
And I was like, yeah. I clicked accept, and they were like, no, you can't accept this. I'm like, why not?
He couldn't accept it fast enough. Oh, you know what that means. Mahomes going crazy. But you know what? It's gonna be good podcasting. I'm excited about it. Either way this goes.
We might get signed for another season.
We absolutely might. We might get picked up for a third, Johnny. You never know. The possibilities are limitless. I just know I'm pretty funny when I'm pissed off. So, Patty, I've been pissed off. I've had some good promos. Give me material. I want to hate you all season. And the only way that I can hate you is if you score a shitload of points for my buddy John Burrell. So let's go. Challenge thrown down. We got some young guy is only 3 points behind. And he didn't have a terrible week, 48. But 83 from my brother. Let's go over his in a little bit. But the shitsuckers are 52 behind. Here comes Debo, 63 behind. And then, bam, you got people that are 130, 153, 164. This is a lot of people out over 100. Let's see if we have a good couple weeks. I hope it's a good Thanksgiving. We're putting together a menu. What do you cook for 2 people, John? 1.5 people. My son, you've seen him. He weighs 40 pounds.
Get one of those little what are they called? Cornish game hens.
Cornish game hens. That's too fancy for this household. You know what we're gonna do? Probably just rock a little turkey breast. I thought I saw a little cheesecloth thing soaking in garlic butter. We're gonna figure it out. We'll be happy. The Bills aren't playing, so you're not gonna ruin a holiday, even though we always win on Thanksgiving. Maybe that's the key. You know what? They're coming to 23rd. I don't know if I can justify spending that kind of money on the team that just keeps breaking. Oh, God, you just keep hurting me. Why? Why do we go back to the pain, John? Because it's where it's comfortable. That's why. I'm still not in last place, though. God bless the prodigal comes home, Coleman Roach and Jeff Golly of the meltdowns. I don't think Jeff Golly of the meltdowns
200 points out.
182 behind me. 282. We got to go back and look and see what the biggest drubbing is. I'm going to bet it was Stanley back in the day. Who's lost by more than four? Has anybody lost by 400 points? That's incredible. Let's take a look at my brother's week. Good for you, Tom. He started this league out in this league very, very competitive every year. And then something happened. I don't know. He had too many kids. He's got too many He's got a job. I'm retired. But why do you still go to work? I don't get it. I've never understood it. Working for me is a rarity, and it's we pray for work. He just gets up and goes like it's a thing you do every day. Josh Allen, even though you played terribly, he didn't play terribly, but the turnover's got to stop. 23 points in this league don't matter. If you can just detach your emotion, you can recognize solid fantasy performance again. Brian Buttshot Robinson with the coveted 24-point play, a 51-yard reception. John, I do believe there were 3 of the coveted 24-pointers. Can you believe it? And you know what? We didn't even discuss the other trade, did we?
No,
did this happen before? Well, you know what? There were 2 trades this week, everybody. Now in our league.
It was before the week, but after the podcast.
That's right. We did not discuss it. I was in Florida last week. Johnny, it's like a whole new reality. I'm in a new timeline where I have 34 points. I don't like it. But we had a trade between who else? The Deadheads and my brother. I'm pulling it up, but I know it was Jerick McKinnon.
I got it right in front of me.
And Devontae Adams went from the Deadheads to my brother for Brandon Ayuk and Bijan Robinson of Atlanta. I don't know. I think my brother basically both of his players scored and none of Stanley's did. Take a look at that. Let's you know what? We got 2 trades now. I don't know if there was one earlier in the year. It wasn't significant, but this one we'll keep track and see who comes out on top for both of these trades because so far my brother looking good. Robinson had a 6-pointer along with that 24-pointer from the other Robinson. Could be a new team name there. Robinson, Mrs. Robinson. I don't know. It's off the top of my head. Brandon Ayuk had a 9-pointer, and then he has the Browns with a 9-pointer on defense, and Patterson, who I do believe he picked up this week with 12. Nice week for my brother Tom. He snatched it.
And he left 6 on the bench with Lockett.
He did. He snatched it from our buddy Tom Lizotte of the Tom Lizottes, who catapulted up the board with Dak Prescott. What are you doing?
Oh,
I've got
54
Aubrey.
Dak.
Didn't even have 1 field goal attempt. Why? Because Dak scored every time he touched the ball. 54 points. That's a 50 burger, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot of points from one player. Good for you, Tommy. He's got Jamar Gibbs still rocking. Boy, they ran all over the Chargers. Hey, the 23rd, if I go to see that game, Leonard Fournette, I think all 3 of our running backs should score because Gibbs had 2 touchdowns. Montgomery also scored on a 75-yarder. If you didn't watch that game, Cortland Sutton scored 6 against us, and Joseph with 10 for a nice week of 82. Quite a few on the bench.
And by the way, Dak catapulted to 3rd in scoring.
Isn't
or
that
at least
crazy
in quarterback,
how quick
scoring,
that
in quarterback scoring.
How quick that happens. And let's give some props to our buddy Tommy for having the balls to bench Lamar Jackson, because when you have a player that caliber, you kind of view him as matchup proof. But he said, hey, he's playing Cleveland. They threw up 31 points against that vaunted Cleveland defense, and Lamar Jackson only had 12. So what a great call. When you have 2 good quarterbacks, that's a perfect example of why you carry 2 quality quarterbacks. You play those matchups, 54 points. Boy, he'd have been hurting. It'd have ruined my month if I'd have started the wrong guy.
Yeah.
Now I don't care. Kareem Hunt scores again. I tried to pick him up weeks ago. Why'd you pick him up? Why'd you beat me in the waiver order just to sit him on your bench? I don't think he's gotten any points from him. Who cares? Dell from Houston has 6 on the bench.
Yeah.
There's 2 more. Let's go for the 2 more because they had pretty good weeks before we get to ours. The Deadheads, 74 points because, well, he was smart. He didn't draft a starting quarterback. He's like, why do I need to draft Patrick Mahomes in the first 5 picks when I can just wait till the waivers open and pick up Brock Purdy? Because Brock Purdy had another 30, burger. Purdy loves the
30
30.
for 30.
It's ridiculous. Barkley, who he wanted to trade to me from Mostert. Come on, Stanley. What are you doing? Did we talk about that? Did he offer me Barkley from Mostert right after that trade came through? What are you doing, Stanley? What are you doing? Latavius Murray with a 6. Odell Beckham
He
Jr.,
looked
welcome
good
back.
during the little benching of James Cook.
Yeah, he really did. Hopefully this new guy that's calling our plays will call some runs. Just run the ball. Run the ball and hold on to the ball. I don't
Yeah,
know,
that would be
Josh.
nice. All right,
Josh. I'm
we're
very
digressing.
disappointed. Change your
We're
face, dude.
digressing.
We are digress. George Kittle with another 12-pointer. George Kittle has had a few touchdowns where he's just
How about
waltzed backward
OBJ?
into the end zone. OBJ is coming on strong. Maybe that injury, I thought he was done. I had him in another league, my only other league, but it looks like he's getting healthy, and he had a nice 40-yarder. That's a 12-pointer in our league. And then Dustin Hopkins with 14. Nice job. And Stanley picked up Josh Dobbs. Speaking of Jobs, he had 21 points against that tough New Orleans defense, but he switched. He had him starting, and then right before he must have switched it, and he made the right call with Purdy, but he's looking good with Dobbs. He's not going anywhere. What are we talking about? Johnny, take us through your week. 62, nothing to sneeze
we're not
at.
going to talk about the mob.
I don't know. Do you want to?
Nah, Carl, we love you, but we're going to skip
We love
over
you, Carl. Gives a shit.
Shit suckers. So I started Tyler Heineke.
Now you
Pains
could
me
have
to even
started
say it.
Wilson.
I could have. I didn't want to because he was playing the Bills.
Yeah, well,
I went right and with like quarter to 3. A quarter to 4. I made the decision. Heineke got me 6. And you know what? Najee scored 3 out of the last 4 weeks. I hadn't been starting him. I decided to start him. He got me 6. And then
you had Swift and Mostert on a bye, so it kind of backed into that 6, and you might have backed in. You backed into a 24-pointer.
My entire team was on a bye. Come on. Yeah, yes, I put White in for Tampa Bay. I've been starting him sporadically, and he got me a 43-yard receiving touchdown for that vaunted 24-pointer.
Oh, so sweet. Can only dream of it.
Gabe got me a 2-pointer after he recovered from breaking both of his hands on a route that Josh did not have to throw 102-mile-an-hour fastball.
But still, it's your job to catch it.
It is, but not when it's coming out of a howitzer.
Yeah, well.
And I picked up Joe Ferguson. I don't think Joe's his first name, but Joe Ferguson was a beloved Bills quarterback.
Fergie
for the
you picked up
Dallas
a tight end.
Cowboys.
You picked up a tight end.
I started Heineke and a tight end
for the first time since maybe the first Clinton administration. This first time you started tight end. Yeah. Good for you. And let's not stop there. Talk about how the brilliance of your playing the matchups on your kicker. You dropped the number 1 kicker in the league, John. What are you doing?
I dropped him.
18 points from Prater.
First I benched him, but then I had an injury, and I had to. So I dropped my kicker entirely and picked up Matt Prater, who had 18 points. And from here on out, I guarantee you, every week I will be looking to start a new kicker and a new defense.
Good for you. Hey, man, it's working. Good for you rolling the dice. And I debated, well, somebody's going to pick up Elliott before I got him. But I was like, do I want to mess with that? Because I like having the same defense and the same kicker. It makes it twice as interesting to watch a game. And Aubrey's been good. Well, I mean, what are you going to bitch about? 7 extra points?
Yeah.
Like you just couldn't, they couldn't stop him at all, Johnny.
Right.
Start your kicker against the Giants.
And Elliott's still available if you want him.
I know. I'm debating, but I don't think I'm going to make any moves this week because I like where my team's at. In one more week, I'm going to be up to full strength.
Nothing?
I don't think I put one in. I put a couple in. You know why? Because I want to start Hardman just because it'll hurt a little less if he throws one to Hardman. I'll retain a couple of those points from this big trade. And you know me, Johnny. I like to watch somebody in prime time. What am I going to start?
Absolutely.
Jackson Najig. I'm not comfortable saying that name, and I'm not going to do it. Jackson spelled the wrong way. Because
with an X.
So edgy. You're so edgy. You know what? We're going to take a look at mine. You got to be
Yeah,
kidding
let's
me.
do it.
Jeez,
Let's do it.
Jiminy
34
Christmas.
points.
And I watched all day. I was so excited. Nobody gets more excited for this than me. We started the day, nothing. Just nothing happening. I did not even the one game that I did not watch was the Baltimore Cleveland game. I had 3 games going. I really watched that Tennessee Tampa Bay game, and Evans came through with a 9-pointer, amazing, broke tackles and just bulldozed. He just manned his way into the end zone. But he did drop a 6-pointer. And when you're sitting there all day and you know you need points. Oh, what are you doing? You took his hand off. You're a pro. But he could have had 15. I'm very happy with the 9 because he's been my most consistent scorer this year. But other than that, it is bleak. I had Gus Edwards. Gussie came through with a chippy 6.
Gussie.
Thank you, Gussie. Derrick Henry does not look like Derrick Henry of old, although he is notorious for
He
having a
is old.
good second.
He
Yeah,
is
yeah,
old.
he is now literally the old Derrick Henry. But we're not giving up. Tyreek, Taysom Hill, give him the ball. What are you doing? David Carr goes out. That means my chances should go up. It doesn't seem like he was in very many packages that they had together with Jameis Winston. We don't want to see him in there anymore. Although we'd like to see both Carr and Jameis go out for the year and have Taysom take it over for quarterback. I won't feel bad about it at all. 30 a week. Let's go. And then Aubrey was 7. Kyler Murray looks good. He only had 12 points, but that's basically more than Patrick Mahomes averaged. So I'm used to it, but I really am encouraged, and that's why I watched the first quarter. And when he ran that 12-pointer, I texted my friend Johnny. I said, I've seen enough. You got to trade offer in. And they did win. So they're just screwing up that first pick. But what a weird thing. That's the game I watched. In what other world would you watch Arizona versus Atlanta? You do it because you have Kyler Murray. And you're going to make your friend, you're rooting for him to have a good week because you want to make this trade because I hate Patrick Mahomes with a passion. Johnny, we got the time on the clock on the wall says it's time for me to pour another White Claw Surge and put my kid to bed. Final thoughts as we go into week 11 with a couple brand new players on our team. How you feeling about it?
Well, there were 2 trades and 2 of them involved 2 of the top 3 teams. So it's going to be interesting to see how that impacts things. We got to track that definitely and look at it. I'm excited. I've got a vested interest, obviously. Last year at this time, I was where you were. I was worse than where you were. And now here we are. And that's, I think, a testament to the point scoring system as opposed to head to head. Although I'm sure there are some people that finished, 1 and whatever last year, and this year they're winning their league. But playoffs are coming up for some people very soon. We don't have to worry about that.
No, it's not even a thought. You got to be thinking, did you see Aaron Rodgers? Talk of Aaron Rodgers. He thinks he might be back in December. Look, we're living in the future, but with all this talk about the scripted of the NFL, that don't smell right. He was walking around way too fast after that surgery. I don't believe anything. Look, John, I saw a conspiracy theory online. Says that the smartest kid in the world thinks that the world ended in 2012 when CERN destroyed the universe, and now we're living in some kind of alternate reality, and that could explain the Mandela effect. I don't know. We ask the big questions. We don't provide any answers, but that doesn't smell right. Wouldn't that be amazing if Aaron Rodgers comes back? Because look, everybody's still in it. I don't believe this AFC North is going to stay where it is. I don't believe the Pittsburgh Steelers or the Cleveland Browns are good enough to make the playoffs. I'm not giving up on the Bills. Look, I'll never give up on the Bills. We had too long a drought. I've been grateful. We have the Miami game. Oh, is that fun or what? It's hard to believe that's the same team. We kicked the crap out of the Dolphins, who had just laid 70 on the team that we lost to. It really is a crazy league.
It's so inexplicable.
It's inconceivable. It really is. I don't know. I'm just I need to lick my wounds for a couple more days before I get I don't want to pass this on to my beloved son. I don't even know if I want to go to that Chargers game. I could say imagine how many more presents I could buy this kid if I don't buy those tickets. Oh
Yeah.
boy. I tell you what, you better get it together and you better have a huge outing against the Jets at home. We don't lose to the Jets at home. Okay. I got him in another league. I think I might start Josh Dobbs off. You know what? I might tweet at him because I don't tweet anymore. I don't do it, but I might tweet at him. Hey, Josh, I'm starting another Josh this week. His last name's Dobbs. And just to see if I can light a little fire under our
Can
boy.
you can you tweet on X, or do you X?
Oh, do I X? I don't know. That's why I just wash my hands and feet of the whole thing. Look, I've tweeted some fantastic material out there. I get nothing. I get you. I get a couple other people. Look, I can just text you. I'll just
Yeah.
text you. I
And
text
I'll give
you.
you the
I
thumbs
text
up.
my friend Jake, and then we're like, yeah, man. And I don't need the rest. You can suck it. Good luck, everybody, in week
Yes.
11. I'm not giving up. I'm excited for this trade. I think it's going to help both of us. It's going to catapult. Johnny, I think you're going to win, and I'm going to come in third. That's my goal.
Nice.
I think I can
There
do
we
it.
go.
Me and my brother, some young guy, we know you exist because I saw you on the Zoom this year. But until we actually meet, I ain't rooting for you. Good luck in week 11. Stick with us. We really appreciate you listeners, and check out this scoring system. For John Burrell, I'm Brian Dunkleman saying we'll see you next time on OG Fantasy Football. Go
Go
Bills.
Sabres.
Yes.